Howdy ho, everybody! Or should I say, hail Satan, everybody? I'm Ron, back with another tone tutorial, and today we're gonna dive into the dark fjords and the blackened skies of Scandinavian black metal. Now this is not old school black metal is probably not engineers high point where it's like you can really say like, holy shit, I captured a really great tone. This is quite the opposite, where it's like you just try to achieve a tone that's about as down and dirty as you can get. And I know it's like everybody says like, well, you just don't know how to record. And well, that might be true. I may not know how to record anything, but there's also a certain art that goes into when things get lo-fi, and you just kind of have to. It's kind of like a slasher. Those like not like Dawn of the Dead, but the Peter Jackson's. Like they're not great movies, but it's like they have this certain feel that it's like good shit. That's essentially what you're trying to capture with old school black metal. So I'm just going to play a little bit and then I'm going to explain what's going on in the signal chain. And so, about as down and dirty as you can get. Not very. Pick attack is not defined. Everything's kind of. It's full grimy, lo-fi, whatever you want to call it. The signal chain is. First in the chain is the gate. Then I have my tube screamer. As an amp, I am using this L12X solid state amplifier with the following settings: treble to the max, is why the fuck not. Middle somewhere in the middle, and bass somewhere in the middle, and I have the boost on. Without the boost, it kind of sounds like this. Once you click the boost, you kind of get those satanic high harmonics in there. I don't know exactly what it does, but it doesn't really matter. It just sounds more satanic with the boost on, and that's all that matters. The cab, I am, of course, using the True Cab, and we are using, or I am, there's nobody else here, so I'm using the Black Wizard main. And it sounds a little something like that. There's really no science to it. I didn't use this amp on the demos. I used a Spark with everything at 12 o'clock, so this is not the only amp that you can use to achieve this kind of tone. Tone-wise, if you don't... Well, the L12X, this one's free, whereas the Spark is not. Anything, probably just do your research. What did guys like Euronymous and Dark Throne guys use back in the day? I would say my guess would be Marshall. I doubt they really use something like a 5150 or a Mesa Boogie. But you could still use it. It's really up to you. And if you're trying to create like original tone, I'd probably try to use something that they didn't use, so it's gonna sound like you. But yeah, amp settings over here. Feel free to take your pen and paper and write them down. And but I'm just gonna go through the patches one by one and kind of explain a thing or two what I was trying to achieve with this. The Black Wizard. it's pretty much on the fuller side, just not no noticeably strong mids, just kind of like a big full tone that has that nice kind of almost like the bass frequencies aren't as distorted, so it's a good tone for. And if you're not a fan of black metal, can't help you. It's extreme, man. You can also use it for like something like punk. So it's not just don't, if something says black metal, challenge yourself to think that it could be used for something else as well. So sky's the limit. Unleash your creativity. But that's the Black Wizard main. Let's move on to the Destroyer. No, it's not modeled after Kiss's Destroyer. I would say it's kind of like a fuzzier big brother of the Black Wizard. It's this would definitely do well in punk. Like, holy shit. But it can also or if you're just playing hardcore, that's gonna make some bros slam into each other and unleash the Chuck Norris inside them. So yeah, it's a pretty good all around patch, and sounds thick. Let's move on to the Lord of Goats, and if you know your black metal history, you might have a hint what this tone is trying to sound like. So this one's the Radio Shack kind of preset. It's not trying to be anything fancy. It's just down and grimy. So if you're trying to play leads on black metal, I don't know if this week it's allowed, next week it may not be, but check your local elitist for latest info. But black metal would sound good. There's a bunch of spring reverb on in there, so it sounds kind of nice and spacey. Or you can try and play this. Also sounds pretty good. Lo-fi, this would be my, like, if you're the true old school player, then you probably wouldn't be using IRs. But hey, if you're a true old school player, but you're using IRs, this would probably be my starting point for that. Let's move on to Mysterious Satan. Same thing, the demons of the cathedral are echoing in. Yeah, it's just another spacey yeah, it's mysterious. Satan is mysterious. That is finally confirmed. that's it, I guess. Let's move on to the Sword Man. Once again, it's a kind of an underground. I would say this is more if you're trying to. Like, after the early black metal sounds, this would probably be your, like, the 80s kind of stuff. Um, that's the Swordman, and that's essentially what the. Okay, let me know in the comments how many times I've said essentially so far. Um, my vocabulary is not very good. But that's the old school black metal pack, and hopefully anyone who's trying to completely destroy their guitar tone or just look for something grimy and lo-fi will get a kick out of this. It's not just for black metal, like I said. You could do punk, and those two are actually musically and not so musically closer to one another than one might think. Um, yep, use this for what it's meant for, or use it for punk, or I don't know, let's do garage. Yeah, that's the dad rock garage tone right there. So use it as you wish, and that's it for black metal, old school black metal tone, and hopefully this pack has found you well. Hopefully this video was at least somewhat informative, and I will see you next time, and let me know in the comments what kind of tutorials or tips or whatever you'd like to see from us in the future. Just like I said, remember to wash your hands and stay safe. Don't do heroic shit. There's time for that once all of this goes back to normal, and then we really, really need each other again. Stay safe, stay home, and stay tuned. Thanks.